Hello, everyone. My name is Sabini. This is Timeless Flux. Welcome. Today, I'm going to be talking about what's hidden from you right now, what's hidden, and any kind of message Spirit might want to share with you about um, work life, love life, and I'll try to keep this reading as general as possible while conveying the message being received. But today I've already been shuffling here, but I'm going to be using two decks, the Everyday Witch deck and the Rebel deck. Okay, so I'll have three options for you to choose from. First option is this beautiful crystal pointer here. Okay, the second option is this pyrite crystal here. And the third option is this beautiful rose quartz. Okay, it's kind of whitish there, but it's actually a rose, a pink quartz. Okay, so option number one, option number two, and option number three. Okay, the crystal pointer, the pyrite crystal, and the pink quartz. So I was already shuffling here. Sorry for the noise. For those of you who've selected this crystal pointer, and let's see what's hidden from you right now and what you should hear about from spirit. Okay? So, first card I have here representing you is the world. So, the first important thing I wanted to tell you is that whatever you're considering to be troubling your life, whatever you're considering to be not as good as it should be, it's actually better than it looks. Okay. Because the world talks about, and it's very interesting because in this Everyday Witch deck, we have a representation of a witch like trying to reach her hat. And it talks about precisely this context I'm trying to give you. um, Maybe you're thinking that things are worse than they actually are, so you're trying to reach out for your hats here, this hat representing abundance or maybe the solution to a certain problem, and it seems really worse than it actually is. This is the first message, and this is representing you here. And then I have for a past, a future, and a present card to contextualize your situation. For the past, I have this inverted Three of Wands. Okay, I hope you can see it clearly there. Um, but facing um, up while not inverted, this card is showing a man that is trying to start, and with a little bit too much of an enthusiasm maybe, some kind of new project. Okay, and since we already have the world card representing you, I know this project, this idea, this concern you have, um, but that really seems to be a project, is actually going to work out for you. All right. Okay. You're going to have success, whatever you're trying to manifest right now in terms of a project, idea, etc. But the thing is, in the past, you thought that things would probably be easier than they are right now. And then your position for the present is this Eight of Swords. Okay. So you see, we have the image of this woman here, and she's blindfolded, and also her wrists are all tied up. Okay. She doesn't have her hat. It's interesting, the position of the hats in this deck, because you're actually feeling like there's nothing else you can do. When what I'm seeing here is that you're only facing kind of a troublesome road. You're facing the bumps in the road we all have to face whenever we start a new project, but you're kind of maybe over rationalizing when it comes to the past, thinking about what you should have done or what you could have done differently. And And this is not the energy you want to be in right now, because things are not as difficult or as um, complicated as you may think they are. Okay, but this is how you feel right now. And in a future, for a future, I have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so I see that it might take a while, especially if this is a project you're considering doing because you think it's going to make you more money, it's going to show any kind of material result. It's going to take some time. It's not going to be um, this is not going to be fast improvement, especially when it comes to material gain. Okay, so I've talked about money because we're talking about pentacles here, but it could be, for example, that you're considering changing places, and of course you're not going to do it right now in the middle of a social isolation period. It may be that you're trying to look for a new job or maybe a promotion in your current job, and it's probably not going to come as fast as you'd like it to. If you're thinking about starting something new, um, even if what I see here is that if you're considering a new project, you've already started, but it's not just showing the promise you would hope it to show at this point in the game. But the thing is, even if it's not going to materialize as fast as you would like it to, your previous idea that this was going to be good for you, that this is a positive change, that this project is going to be um, not only helpful to other people I see here, but also very helpful to you in terms of spiritual development. Even if the material results they show a little bit later in the game, this previous idea you had, you were not mistaken. This project idea, initiative, this move you're wanting to make, this change is actually very positive because I have the world card starting the game. Okay, but let's see what you know and what you don't know about this situation. Okay, what you know is that this is a situation that requires you, here with the Seven of Wands, requires you to stand your ground. So whatever you're doing, even if you're kind of lacking in energy right now, you really need to. I don't see opponents here. Not, it's not a situation of facing opponents, but it's a situation of standing your ground in your ground in terms of being authentic and of respecting a lot of who you are and what you've learned so far, something like that. Because this project seems to have a little creative touch to it, or maybe even it is really a creative project in the in lato sensu. You know, it's a project like in which you're actually exercising writing, thinking, speaking, putting yourself out there a bit more. And then something that might slow the process or the change you want to make is if you start getting into this insecure vibe and feeling like you can't handle it. That's not true. You can handle it. But I see that this is something that requires a lot from you in terms of how you build yourself in front of the world. Okay, it requires uh it requires from you to have focused energy and to really believe in everything that you're saying every time that you're saying it, believe in everything that you're proposing every time you're proposing it, if you know what I mean. So you need to be really sure about and listen to your heart when it comes to what you want this project to be, or what you want this move to be like, this change to be like in your life. And I see that for one reason or another, and probably because the results are not showing up as fast as you want them to, right now you might feel that it takes a lot of energy to put yourself out there and to defend your point of view, but this is really important for your project, and you know that. What you don't know, though, is that uh this is interesting because this is the Queen of Swords, right? And it's here to talk about what you don't know. What you don't know in this case scenario is that you have what it takes in terms of mental acuity, um, in terms of mind organization to put yourself out there, and you probably have very good responses to all the times in which you're actually asking for what you want and presenting your ideas, your proposals, etc. This is a card that talks about someone who is highly grounded, but at the same time, and because of that, highly able to reach higher levels of abstraction, if you know what I mean. Um, so you can juggle being down to earth, especially with this other card here, okay? You can juggle being down to earth and at the same time reaching high levels of strategy and abstraction when it comes to your project, your idea, whatever is concerning you. And this is something that's showing here. It's here as something you don't know, okay? So your lack of security right now, your lack of integrity and authenticity when it comes to what you want to do is strongly related to the fact that you believe maybe you're more of a practical person, but not necessarily a good strategist. Or maybe, and depending on your context, this is a general reading, but maybe you think that you are a doer, but not necessarily a thinker. Okay. And if this is not your case, this could also be something like, okay, for this specific project, for this specific concern, I think that I'm not seeing the best strategy. And maybe that's why you're here watching right now this reading talking about hidden factors. But what the cards are actually saying is, okay, I know that you need to stand your ground and put yourself out there in front of other people, and this might cause some concern, but you have what it takes in terms of abstraction. Whatever you're considering in terms of strategy is not only very good, but also it is coming from your heart and from other realms, from inspiration, from intuition. Okay. So if you have any questions about whether you should do this or not, in the way you're conceiving the project or in the way you're analyzing the situation, do not have them. Okay. Because if you really confront what you wish for this project to be or the end result you would want to see for this situation, because this could be many things, okay? Not only a project, but I really see a strong project work related situation here. Um, when you conceive this end result, know that you're going to get there and that whatever you're conceiving right now is probably the best way of getting there, okay? Your mind's operating properly. You don't have to worry about that. The thing is, results are going to take a bit longer to show. And then maybe from time to time you need to um, just buy yourself a gift and pat yourself on the back or maybe hug yourself or something like that, because results are going to take a while to show. And then the next card I have as a piece of advice is the Seven of Swords. Okay, so you see here I have this. Imagine that each of these swords, and I'm hearing this pretty clearly right now. Imagine that all of these swords are the thoughts you have and the ideas you have when it comes to this project, this concern, the results you'd like to see. You're kind of a fugitive here. You're kind of saying, okay, I really wanted this to work out this way, but I really think that I have to show to hide my intentions and to show only the best version of myself that for one reason or the other you don't think is related to this project or to this concern. Okay, so what the cards are actually saying here as a piece of advice is, whatever your ideas are, just broadcast them. Okay, of course, you need to be careful about, okay, maybe there are some details that are more private that you don't want to show, you don't want to be secretive. Well, you want to be secretive about, but whatever you're thinking right now, your strategies and your view for how this situation could pan out, just broadcast them in the sense of not only the energy that you're going to try to focus on an energy that's best suited for your intents, but also tell people what you would like to happen. This does not guarantee instant results, but you really, there's a real need here for you to communicate clearly on your purpose with this project, with this concern, what you would like to happen, what you would like the end result to be. And probably once you start telling people more openly and leaving this situation here, the situation of feeling blind and stuck to the same circle of ideas and the same circle of emotions, then you will be able to maybe hear from people about what you need to include in your project, in your initiative. You'll be able to find books, find information, find other sources of inspiration. But in general, what I see here is that what you want is actually really good. Okay, so you don't have to worry. Maybe for some of you the problem is precisely that you're so scared about putting yourself out there because you wanted these results to come faster, and then I like kind of, there's no wind in your sails. But what you actually need to do is to put yourself out there and say, okay, this is the result I'm envisioning. This is what I want for this project. Okay. I really don't see this as a situation related to romance, love, friendship, any kind of situationship. But if you're listening to this and it resonates and you're trying to make the link, this could also be a situation in which you're trying to get your relationship to a certain point, it's not getting, and then if this is the case, it's probably going to take longer than you think. But your ideas about this person, this relationship, whatever you're considering, are okay, and you just need to be clearer about what you want with this person, what you want with this project, what you want with whatever. Okay, this is, and it's interesting because you just left moon in Gemini, and this is helping us focus on issues that need to be addressed through clear and potent communication. Okay, so as a final card, I see you juggling um, oh, maybe two ideas, two jobs, two concepts in your mind. And based on the rest of the reading, this is the Two of Pentacles. Based on the rest of the reading, what happens is one of the ideas you have on how you should behave, how you should act, etc., is not exactly what the way you want to be, you want to show yourself to the world. It's, this could be old beliefs coming from childhood, coming from your family, something like that, a group of friends. But the thing is, you really need to focus right now on whatever resonates with your heart and whatever is your true, authentic self. Because if I had to sum up what's hidden right now from you, is that yes, you're going to be successful. Yes, you're thinking straight up. This is amazing, the way you're thinking, the way you're conceiving the situation. It's going to work, it's going to be successful, but it's going to take time and it's going to take active communication. Okay, so I hope this reading has been helpful and resonated. And now I'm moving to the reading of those who chose the Pyrite stone. If you like the reading, please don't forget to comment. We're moving to the reading for group number 2. Okay, those of you who've selected this Pyrite crystal. Okay, it's very beautiful. It's a shame that image is not showing as well as I would like, but we're work with what we have. I have already shuffled this card with it. I'm just transitioning from the energy of the reading for pile 1, for those who chose option 1, to the reading for this option 2. So for those of you who've selected the Pyrite crystal, what is it that you need to know? Let's see. Okay. What's hidden? What's hidden? Pyrite crystal. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So, Pyrite group. Are you are you longing for some kind of romantic or affective relationship? Because if the other reading was about work, a project, an idea, something more of a mental realm, then this reading for most of you is probably related to some kind of situationship. Okay, what I have here is the Ace of Cups in reverse. So what's coming to me right now is that it's a situation like um sorry, an invitation or a love offer that simply seems to be out of the table right now. You were expecting something to happen or someone to engage with you in friendship, in romance, whatever the case, and now this offer has been taken from you somehow. I don't know if it's because of the person, but we'll see. I have a past, a present, and a future card here to understand the situation. Let's see what the cards say. Okay. So for in the past, I see that you were kind of, hmm, this is interesting. You were kind of not trusting this connection with this person, whatever it was. It was kind of okay, I know that this person looks good on paper, but I'm not sure whether they are for me or not. Okay, if you were kind of, you were not trusting this relationship, and then it grew, and then it grew into something completely different, or even if it's not an actual relationship yet, it's your feelings for this person grew, and you were kind of expecting a message that didn't come, maybe some kind of communication on behalf of this person, maybe direct communication. You're expecting it and it didn't come. So now, today, what you see when you think about this relationship, this person, is is a world full of promise. And it's interesting because I've shuffled a lot and changed the energy here, but we still have for you in the present this world card, okay, which is one of the top energies of the major arcana in tarot. Okay, but for you, it has a completely different meaning than it had for group one, because this is your current energy. I see lots of promise in this relationship, and it was really something that this was gradual. Okay, because at first you were kind of, I don't know if I can trust this person, and then you started, okay, okay, I'm going to give a chance, and now even if you didn't receive the kind of communication message input from this person you thought you would receive in the past, you're still hopeful, but maybe a little bit scared in the sense of, am I being misguided when it comes to this relationship? Am I just, you know, daydreaming about this person? But you're very hopeful. The energy seems to be very positive here. And then for the future, what I have is what I have is a situation. This is the Three of Wands in reverse. For some of you, but maybe for a very specific group out there watching this, this could be a third party situation. Okay. I think it's important to say, but I know this is a general reading. But in general, what I can say is that in the future, there's going to be um, some kind of adjustment in the way you see this person, And probably this adjustment is going to come from your relationship with even other people. Okay. This is probable situations. Friends are going to bring you some kind of information about this person that's going to reveal a lot more about their personality or their feelings towards you than you would expect. Okay. And maybe shift your whole perception on how this person is. And of course, this will have an impact on your feelings. The only thing I see so far that's hidden, aside from from this whole context, is that maybe you're suffering a little bit from a little bit anxious, not suffering. Suffering is too strong a word for this spread, but maybe you're a bit anxious about your future with this person, but there's more information about this person to come, and this information is probably going to come um, through friends, okay, or maybe common connections between you and this person, if that is the case. But other people are going to enlighten your perspective on this person. Now I have here what you know and what you don't know about this situation. Okay, so what you know is that this is not a situation in which you feel as bad or as powerless as you used to feel in other connections. What I see here is history showing you that you have evolved when it comes to considering partnership. So I don't see you afraid that this person is manipulative, this person is um, any kind of abuser. I see that it's like now you know better. So even if this person is not for you, if the relationship does not develop the way you're thinking it's going to develop right now, you know that this is not going to be as bad as it used to be in the past. There's some kind of lesson learned there, something like that. And what you don't know, and it's also related to what you know, it's like the what's well, the tip of the iceberg is what you know, and the rest of the iceberg is what you don't know, like conscious and unconscious, but they are related. um, so you know that this is not going to be a terrible connection, even if it doesn't fully develop, because now you know better. You've learned your lessons from the past. You've learned a lot. You know how to pick and choose your affections, but in a positive way. You're not going to just, surrender your heart to anyone. But what you don't know is represented here by the Page of Pentacles. So, and I'm going to pick another card just to confirm that. Yeah. There's something about this person that is a little shady when it comes to money, when it comes to the material aspects of this person's life. So what I see here is that maybe the message that you were expecting this person to send you, or the kind of communication you expected from them, never came, precisely because they are a bit untrustworthy when it comes to decisions, to money, to they are not the most clear headed people. Okay, they have trouble organizing their thoughts and then communicating their thoughts. It's interesting because there are a lot of aspects here in this reading talking about communication. We just had the moon in Gemini, mentioned that in first reading. But in this case here, what I see is a person. I don't see an abuser. I don't see a manipulative person. I don't see anyone that's doing this consciously or on purpose. Just to simplify the case, I see a person who really doesn't know how to connect thoughts and actions. This person's mind could be really confusing. Okay. It's like, imagine you have access to their mind, and then what you see kind of scares you. And this is something that I see is hidden from you. so far in this connection, in this relationship. Okay, so you are correct when you face this person, when you consider this person as someone that's not going to hurt you, it's not going to abuse you. But you need to be careful because they are actually a little shady when it comes to organizing the thoughts, especially particularly if these thoughts, these ideas, this communication is related to money, the workplace, material gain. They are a bit, but it's their problem. It's not your problem. And then let's see what helps and what hinders. Well, what helps is that you are not in a position of feeling um, obligated to put a facade out there and defend your best possible version. You're actually very natural, very authentic when it comes to thinking and relating to this person. I don't know if you're communicating right now or not, but even the energy you're putting out there is an energy of, okay, I'm not going to um, out of my way to make this person notice me or to understand how well corresponded I am in my affections or not. Again, lessons learned. You're not the kind of person that's going to do this anymore. Um, what's hindering the process on your part? I see here that you're kind of you could keep your thoughts to yourself a little bit more until you have more information on this person, is what I see. You could be a little bit more conservative about what you're going to share at this point in the game, because this whole mental confusion, and when it comes to associations, material gain, and money, is not clear to you. I'm bringing this to you, and as it shows here, it's like the first time you're considering that when it comes to this person. Okay, maybe you had some kind of a hint and then this is a confirmation, but there's a lot you don't know about this person. Nothing indicating that they are they are actually trying to manipulate you, or they are actually trying to do you harm, to simplify it. But there's a lot of confusion, especially when it comes to their thoughts related to you, and potential partnerships, potential projects together, relationships. They're still very confused, and this is not related to you. This is related to them. Okay, they are people who have a lot of trouble trying to organize their mind, and I even see here that they have schemes, and they have their own way of dealing with the intricacies of their own minds, but it's kind of hard for them to just be clear about what they want, especially when they need to communicate that. Okay, that's why messages are not coming. That's why it's so hard for them to, you know, relate. They will still need to. There's nothing really indicating here whether you're going to have a partnership or not. But I see here a relationship. But I see here that maybe you will even change your mind once all of these details come together. Once you have the full picture of who this person really is, not because they are quote unquote bad, but because they are. Maybe you are going to have the answer on whether they are for you or not simply by analyzing who they are. you know Once this information comes out, because it will come out, this is also showing here, you will have opportunities to get to know this person more and more and more. Maybe you won't even want to be with them. So what I see here is that you need to be careful in this moment. You still don't know this person a lot. Not to share your every single thought, or not to even consider that. Be a little bit more protective. It doesn't mean that you need to fake anything. It doesn't mean that you need to, enter the mystery vibe and just keep all of your secrets to yourself. But just consider, and I think a good filter suggested by the Seven of Swords in reverse here, a good filter if you're thinking about, okay, what should I share and what shouldn't I share? A good filter would be, okay, I'm going to share things um, that I wouldn't mind seeing out there, even if this person kind of gossips around about them. Okay. This level of intimacy, it's just how far you would go with this person up to the moment in which you start seeing them from who they really are and all this trouble they have with, more material subjects, more with maybe financial aspects of life or putting things together, the more concrete aspects of life. Okay, and then as a piece of advice, I have, um, do not juggle. Do not juggle this person with another person. Do not juggle. Pay attention to the balance between the attention you're giving to this person and the attention you're giving to the other areas of your life. Um, if you feel that you're overwhelmed or juggling because of this relationship, it doesn't seem like you feel like that right now. You seem, okay. I just wanted to know why they didn't send a message. I'm maybe starting to feel a little bit anxious, but I'm still very hopeful. But whenever you feel that you're starting to, you know, um, just give too much into this connection or be a little bit obsessed about this connection, do something else. Okay. Do something else. This is also, talking about, the sharing part, not sharing all of your thoughts with them, because sometimes when we are in a situation like on and off, or maybe even if you talk every day, you don't know where the other person stand. You kind of tend to overshare, and maybe overshare in trying to push some kind of intimacy that's really not there. Okay, so don't do that. And for your mental health sake, just try to, whenever you feel like you're focusing too much on this person, just try to do something different. Okay. um for some of you, but only for some of you, this could relate to actually having two people, two love interests, two persons of interest that you would want to maybe, uh, check. I have already talked about in the beginning of the reading that in the future this could actually develop into a third party situation. Maybe for some of you it's already a third party situation. But what I see here is that this is not the most important thing in this situation. If you're considering that there is one of the people involved, the person that maybe you're more attached to, that you don't know yet. You don't know everything that you needed to know about this person in order to even decide if you want to be with this person or not. Okay, so for some of you, aside from that, we have the third party situation. And then the piece of advice here is very clear, like, don't juggle two people. Try to consider, if it's hard for you to like abandon one of these people, then try to consider at least how you could balance the attention you're giving to each of them. But juggling is not for you right now. Either juggling this person with other areas of your life, or juggling two people and trying to see what's best for me, this attitude, what's best for me. Okay, so the conclusion I have here is, um, you will come to the point of making a clear decision, but this is a decision based on your heart, and maybe feelings are going to be slow to develop, and um, you're going to need some time in order to decide if you're going to, just give yourself to this person, emotionally or not. But you still do not have all of the information you need. This person is going to reveal much more, So be attentive. It's probably going to take a while. It's not all pinky and rosy as you're thinking about when you picture them. You're picturing them um, in an idealized version, and you're probably going to need more information, especially about how they deal with their everyday concrete financial aspects. This is what's actually preventing them from being more open and communicating with you right now. Okay. So I hope this reading has helped. And now I'm moving on to the reading for those who chose the third option, the rose quartz. I'm going to show it again. Let me just prepare, change the energy here a little bit so that we can ask for group number 3, what's hidden, what needs to be known. Well, the cards are already wanting to say things here, um, jumping all over the place. Let me show you the third option again. This third option is for those of you who chose um, this is the rose quartz. Maria, oh, so nice to have you here. I'm very happy that it helped you. Have you chosen option number 2 or option number 1 or both? Tell me, okay? But then moving to option number 3, this is the rose quartz, okay? And it's not very rosy under this light, but it's still a rose quartz. Okay, so it's talking about self-esteem, love, self-love, self-empowerment, and all the good things in life. Let's see what group 3 needs to hear right now about what's hidden. Oh, that's very nice to know, Maria. I'm glad that it resonated. And oh, that's wonderful. Okay, that's why I'm here, and I aim at helping as many people as I can. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your situation. Okay, so now I'm moving to um, this option number 3 with the rose quartz. And okay, a bit of context here. Okay, oh, just give me a moment because I just lost my screen in a computer somewhere. Hope you're still seeing me. Okay, found myself. Okay. So, okay, for you, I see that whatever's concerning you right now is related to giving and receiving. Okay, so maybe I have the Six of Cups here. Okay, and in this deck, which is the Everyday Witch, it's a very clear representation of this giving act. Okay, and normally when we have the Six of Cups, and this is representing you, okay, we have a situation in which giving is important, but since we're talking about a concern and something that's hidden, giving is important, but you might feel that you're giving too much. Or maybe this could relate to a project, to a connection, to many, many different things. But in general, it's like whatever I offer to this project, this person, this situation, this relationship is too much. It's not balanced. I need more. I need to reach some kind of even understanding. I see here, due to the other cards, I'm going to talk about them in a second, but I need to reach an understanding on why is it that I need to invest so much in this situation. So this is what we're going to talk about. But I see that it could be many different things, because the first reading was obviously more related to a job, a professional situation, a project, idea, study, something like that. And the second reading was more related to um, love, friendship, situationships. And what I see here now is that this reading is could apply to many different realms depending on the people watching. Okay, so first of all, I have this situation of I need some balance on giving and receiving. I think that I'm giving too much. Of course, this could be another person giving you too much and making you feel uncomfortable, but I see that for most of you, it's like I'm giving too much. And I just want to understand why is it that I need to consistently invest on this thing. Maybe you're even having results because the other card I have here for your past is okay. I've started this project, this connection, this situation, feeling like I had it all worked out. I knew who my partners were going to be. I knew who the people involved were going to be. So if this is marriage, if this is, I don't know, you're dating or something, any kind of thing that might be going on, you knew in the beginning or in the past that you had the friends of the person sorted out, you had the family sorted out, and you had the person sorted out. Okay, if this is a project, could be a situation like, okay, I know the team I'm going to work, I know I'm going to work with, I know the investors I'm going to have to deal with. And then for some reason, even if things seemed very, very clear to you, right now you're feeling a bit um a bit with your hands tied and a bit blind when it comes to this situation. It's like you started, I understand everything that's going on. I know exactly the amount of energy I'm going to have to put forward to see it through. And I'm happy with that. I've decided I'm going to jump right in. But then, and it's interesting because it's the same card, also different meaning, but in general, it's the same card we had for group number one in this position of the present. Okay, this is the Eight of Swords. So you see this woman here, she is actually blindfolded and has her wrists tied, all tied up. Okay, so it's this moment of I thought I understood what I was supposed to do, but now it's not so clear, and it seems to be involving, if this is a relationship, any kind of relationship, boss and an employee, or maybe partners of any kind, it seems to involve more people, but you thought that you really understood what was going on and what you needed to do, and then now you're kind of, I don't know, it seems like I got myself into some trouble I really can't understand and can't explain. So you're even looking for closure. You're not only looking for an answer like, should I leave the situation or not? But you're looking for closure. What happened? What did I miss? Okay, and maybe that's why you're here looking for what's hidden and needs to be said. Okay, so I have two cards in the balancing act between what's conscious and what's unconscious, what you actually know, and I'm only going to confirm, and what's like, I said to pile two, it's like the conscious parts, like the tip of the iceberg, and then we have the rest with the unconscious. Okay, so what you know, the tip of the iceberg in this situation is that you expected um you expected this project to, or this situation, this relationship, to bring you some kind of abundance. This could even be money, but you expected this situation to bring you some kind of reward. Okay, so for some of you resonate with this word reward, and for others abundance in general, because I'm not necessarily talking about material things. Okay, and then what you don't know is that um I have the Seven of Swords in reverse here. Okay, this is a card that has been on the table today also, but what you don't know is that one of the problems is that you kind of lost yourself in the middle of this relationship project, whatever. So there was some kind of pressure that you could not predict, and due to this pressure, you kind of compromised a little in the middle of a process. And now you have all of these different commitments, rules, ways of understanding things that are not what you want it to be. Okay. It's like you're not showing yourself uh, in this relationship, in this situation, etc., the way you really are. Okay. You're not your most authentic self. Okay. Um, so basically, these two are connected. What's conscious and what's unconscious about this? It's like you know that you expected more, but you don't know that you have compromised too much. Okay. And then for what helps in this situation, I see that what helps is also, like I said to group two, is like um not showing all of your hands and not sharing or all of your thoughts with all the people involved. Okay. So, and this I'm saying really clearly, if this is a situation in which we're talking about romance, there are family members, friends, maybe even common friends that are influencing the situation a lot. And you need to know that you cannot say everything that you wanted to say or that you mean to say to all of them. Okay. You really need to filter. Okay. If this is a situation, a project, some kind of teamwork, because I really see more than one person involved here, then the same goes, but with a twist. You really need to consider strategically who would be who would service you best if you shared each piece of information. So it's something like, okay, let's say that you're working on a team, and then you have the someone responsible for the budget to use in the project. Okay, something like that. And of course, maybe you don't want to share with this person the creative part of the project, because you know that you need a certain specific discourse to reach this person. And then you might be asking yourself, okay, but you said that I lost my authenticity. You said that I'm not who I really wanted to be, that I compromised too much. Okay, but then there's a clear difference here, because and okay, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, not to just organizing my thoughts here because lots coming. But the thing is, um there's a difference between being authentic and oversharing. Okay, and it's similar to what I said to the group for option two, but in a different way. In this case, what I see is, okay, you need to say your piece to people who really want and are open to listen to it. You're not going to lie. You are not going to be secretive. This is not the case, but you're going to carefully consider what you're going to share with each of the people involved. And you are going to consider it through the filter of what services you. I see that sometimes you try to balance the needs of all of the people around you, and maybe you're the kind of person that simply, puts everybody in front of your own needs. So it's kind of hard for you to just simply let go. That's why we were talking in the beginning of this reading about a lack of balance. I give too much, I invest too much, and I don't know what's happening. Okay, but what you need to understand is, for you to have to achieve balance between what you give and what you receive, the first thing you need to do is not compromise. And in order not to compromise, you will need to consider what you share with each of the individuals involved in this relationship. Okay, I hope that makes sense, because there's lots coming, but the idea is you really knew who these people were. This is not the problem, okay? These people are not against you in any way. I don't see you needing to defend yourself from them. This is not a bad situation when it comes to the people involved. But there are a lot of people. and they have different agendas and they have different interests, and it's like you're giving your utmost energy, all of your energy to all of them in the same way, in the same fashion. This is what I see here, okay? And this is not needed and even not helpful, neither to you or to them, okay? It's just, sometimes it's like you're treating everybody involved in this situation in the same way, and this is not in your best interest, but it's also not in their best interest, okay? Not everybody involved in this situation wants to be so intimate or wants to have so much attention, and other people on the other way, they might be feeling like, okay, so this person is trying to help me, and what should I do? Not accept? It's not that they are bad people, but it's just like you're offering and they're taking. And you need to consider the relationships involved in this situation a, a lot more carefully. Okay. So it all starts with what you share. You need to rethink what you're going to share and consider that you know the characteristics of the people, the personalities of the people involved. You knew this right from the beginning. You were not wrong thinking about how good this project could be in your life, how fruitful. The thing is, when you share with these people, like I see you sharing chunks of information, and there's lots of information there, and you share with all of them equally. They might even get the vibe that you don't understand hierarchy, or that you don't understand your limits, or that you don't understand where they stand, even if you do. So, okay. So this is your hint to how you're going to balance this situation better and not to invest so much. And I have a card here talking about um, what helps and, well, two cards talking about what helps and what hinders in this situation. And then I see that you can become a bit indecisive precisely because you're trying to consider everybody else's need. I see there's a belief here, um, your belief that if you consider everybody else's need, then you actually don't need a plan. It's just like, I'm going to evaluate people who are going to participate on this project or build this family with me or be in this relationship with me, whatever. And I know that they're good people. So now what I have to do is to be a good person too, and everything's going to work out okay. Okay. And it's a kind of naivete that's actually very beautiful and useful in most situations, but in this situation is not doing you any favors, because it's like you're actually you get indecisive on a regular basis. You get indecisive when it comes to what you could do in this project, in this relationship, in order to improve things, especially to improve the everyday scenario. Okay, like the simple decisions: wash this load of clothes, or maybe do this spreadsheet at work, or maybe the very small things of buying this or not buying this. Who am I going to help if I buy this, or if I don't buy this, or if I organize this shelf, whatever. Very small, concrete things. And then you get really, really indecisive and you don't know. And you start to consider the positionings of everybody. You start to consider everybody. And what they're saying here that's hidden from you is that if you actually used what you know about these people and that you knew even from before you entered this project or relationship, you would know exactly who needs more help, who needs less help, and who is maybe even unable to receive help, and who is exploiting you due to the characteristics of the people and the environment. You already know that. But then, in order to do that, you would also need to write a list of what are your obligations, or maybe your demands, or maybe your tasks when it comes to this relationship or project. And this is what is actually very difficult for you, because what you normally do is like, I put everybody uh, um, before my own needs. Okay, I'm not respecting my own needs, and a way of keeping this full investment in everybody with no criteria whatsoever is never having to decide or to delimit the list of the things I'm going to be responsible for in this project. So, what's hidden from you is your own process of engaging or maybe indulging in this over investment in this group of people and or relationship or project. Okay. Um, and what you need to do is really consider, these are my tasks, these are my responsibilities. I'm going to stick to them. And also consider how you relate, how you give yourself, how you share information with this people, with the people involved in this situation, because they are not all supposed to be as intimate as you put them or as you envision them. Okay. The piece of advice I have here is, um, you need to be more decisive. It's just like, reinforcing the message I've given before. You need to be a bit more decisive, and you need to trust your thoughts, your analysis of these people much more than you're trusting right now. This is the only way you're going to get out of this giving more than receiving act that you've been playing out. And summarizing the situation, I have the queen, yeah, the queen of swords. This is interesting. The queen of swords in reverse. Okay, so just to wrap up this situation, you are not using your knowledge to organize your own perception of the situation. You're not applying what you already know about these people to the solution you need to give to this situation. Okay, that's why you're compromising, that's why you're over investing, that's why it's hard for you to see clearly. But you see these people, you have information on these people, you simply do not believe, and you get indecisive, because once you understand that you have these people figured out, and then you can actually just implement whatever you believe in, because it's actually a very good choice, then you will need to face your own tasks, your own responsibilities, and you will need to face your own needs. Put yourself first, and this could be a little scary for you. Okay, hope this has helped. Thanks for watching. And as promised, I'm going to use the Rebel deck that just arrived last week. I love this deck. I've watched many different readings with this deck, and I just simply had to have it, but it took a long time to, it was bought before the isolation period, the pandemia, but it's only arrived now, and I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to put postmans around walking unnecessarily when we need to be isolated. But what I'm going to have here now is, I'm going to have free messages, free extra messages from the Rebel deck. Whoever's joining right now, welcome. And if you want to watch the previous readings, then once I post, you'll be able to. But right now, I have free messages, and I'm simply going to read them. I'm not going to interpret them. Um, Please select number 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to have the cards here. Okay. Number 1. People who have selected number 1, your message is get the out of your head. Okay? Get the F out of your head. And then it says, get in your heart. It misses you. Okay. So if you're arriving now, I hope this message has resonated. If not, we have message number 2 that says, don't effing force it. Take a look. Don't effing force it. And then it says, allow that to come to you. Okay. Hope you can see it because it's inverted. Message number 3, you equals tight ass. And then it says, lose the F up, control freaks don't get laid. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. The day is just beginning here in Brazil, and I love to start my day doing readings. Thanks for watching. Good morning, Kim. Bye bye. See you next time.